Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about manifesting your specific person as someone that you already know and you already have a lot of assumptions about. I want to specifically talk about people that get into manifestation when they're reaching a breaking point in their current relationship when they're reaching a breaking point in their current relationship, and this is going to be very specifically to people that feel that their partner is not going to change, and in order to get what they want, you need to start over. It's very difficult when you're not aware of how manifestation works and that we create our reality and that others are only reflecting your beliefs back to you. And I want to clarify that they are not embodying your beliefs. They are just acting in a way that will reflect and confirm in your mind, based on your perception, your own beliefs. So that can, just for an example, that could be like, you could have the belief that people don't prioritize you, and maybe that person really does prioritize you, but for whatever reason, they acted in a way that made you feel that you weren't a priority. But if you were to, if an outside person was to ask them, of course you'd be a priority to them. So it can be difficult for me to explain this, but basically your person or other people are not necessarily physically completely embodying and conforming to your ideas. They just have to act in ways that to you, you can perceive them as something that validates your belief system. So, because I know people can get really tripped up over the concept of free will, and I have a whole video about that. But you're not fully taking over another person. They just have to, if they agree on a soul level to be interacting in your reality with you, they just have to act in ways that you can perceive the way you want, basically. So they don't actually have to be those things. They just have to act in a way that you will believe it. Okay, moving on. So, I'm sorry, my dog is in my lap and he keeps trying to touch the microphone. When you're in an existing relationship, you have a lot of assumptions about how your partner is. And they can be negative things, right? He never buys me flowers. He never does nice things for me. She never communicates with me. She's always blowing up at me. They never have any energy for me. I'm always doing the laundry. I'm always doing the cleaning. They never do their part around the house. Speaking of part around the house, go hang out somewhere else, please. My legs are hurting. He's been sleeping on my lap for too long. So, we get these ideas of who this person is. We have these very strong assumptions about them. Now, once we start to learn about manifestation, it can really take a while to understand that other people are only behaving as reflections of our beliefs, because we have created an identity around the other person, and we have put blame and responsibility on them. And of course, being humans, having human experiences, that is going to be part of our experience, is having people take responsibility for themselves. But as we come to understand manifestation, there's a balance there with understanding that these people are showing up in the way that we are allowing. Now, I'm just talking about relatively healthy relationships. Even if it's not ideal and it's not great, I'm not talking about anything extreme. If you're in a dangerous situation, this is not about that, and you should seek help for sure. Nobody should be staying in situations where they are being harmed, or potentially. Just want to make that very clear. That is a different level and a different conversation that I probably will not be having. I don't think I'm qualified to have that. So, even though I have opinions on it. Anyway, moving on. So, like when I talk to some of my friends, because they're like, oh, I'm just struggling with my partner right now, and they come to me for manifestation advice, they will take on everything I say as it pertains to them and the fact that they can then manifest what they want, but for whatever reason, they cannot get it in their heads that they can change their partner through changing their self-concept. They have this idea of, yes, I understand that if I change my self-concept, I'm going to attract a partner that matches that. But no, like my partner's never going to change. And I'll even tell them like, well, that's your belief. So that's not, that's what's going to happen is they're never going to change like that. And they're, but if you could envision a way that they do become someone that is understanding of your beliefs or, prioritizes the same things you do, or at least respects your priorities, then they will become that person. And my friends are like, yeah, but, and then they give me a bunch of excuses for why they still will hold the belief that their partner can never change. So this is why I'm making this video, because this is a common thing. Now, of course, if you want to end a relationship and it's easier for you to manifest in a new partner that you don't have assumptions around, go for it. But just know and understand that you absolutely can have your partner change as a person to be the new version that you desire. Just look back at the beginning of your relationship before you had assumptions around them, before you formed negative assumptions around them. Because I can look back at my relationships and see exactly when like negative stuff started happening and my partner started becoming someone that I wasn't happy with, that I wasn't happy with. I can look at the words I told them right before. I would tell them, you're going to start doing this. Oh, you just say that, but then, you're not actually going to spend time with me. And then it happened the next day. It began. So people, again, can only reflect back to you your beliefs about them. So in one of my other videos, I have no idea what order I'm uploading these in. I talk about, sorry, my voice is still like kind of shot. I talk about the like formula, the basics to manifesting a specific person, and how you need to know what it is you want. So even if you have a specific person in mind, like the person that you want to be with, I want you to still set that aside for a second and just list out the qualities of what you want in a relationship and like what you want in a partner, how you want them to show up for you, and what you want to experience in the relationship. And then before you bring in, I just brought in the specific person, no. They're still out there for a second. Then I want you to bring yourself in and compare all those things to what you feel you're really worthy of. A question I like to ask myself is, can I have this right now? Why can't I have this right now? Honestly, I usually just skip to the why can't I have this right now? Because if you feel that you can, your brain will be like, no reason. But if you feel that you can't and you say, can I have this right now? Sometimes your brain will be like, yeah, sure. So I like to just like assume, not truly, but like assume that there's something to be found there, and ask myself like, why can't I have this right now? And see what my brain tells me. Yeah, why am I not worthy of this right now? And then ask yourself, when will I be worthy of it? And that can give you some answers. What are you basing your worth on, basically? And so then you work on your self-concept, you work on affirming for those things that you discover in that little exercise. Now you bring in your specific person and you ask yourself similar questions. But first I want you to see, because you know what you deserve in a relationship, and so now this is within you. If you've worked on it and healed it and you're in a good place with your self-concept, this is now the energy that you're putting out of this is the relationship I'm attracting in. And if you have a specific person in mind, specifically maybe someone you're in a relationship with already, this is what this video is about. But this works if you're not in an actual relationship with them yet. You want to make a list of qualities of your person as it pertains to your dream person. Like, if you want them to make dinner for you 2 nights a week, but you say like, oh, Sally won't make dinner for me 2 nights a week because she's always so tired, or she just doesn't like cooking, or I never like the things she makes. Whatever the reason is that Sally's not cooking for you, that's your SP. Take a look at your assumptions around that, and how can you shift that? How can you see them in a different way? Now, this is difficult when you're in a relationship with someone for so long and you didn't understand manifestation, and so you have these really deep-rooted assumptions. It can be difficult to just shift them. But one thing I like to do is ask myself, okay, so I think Sally's a bad cook. So I'll ask myself, okay, I think she's awful at cooking, but I want her to cook me dinner twice a week. How could she possibly become a better cook? And your brain's going to answer that for you. Now, if there's, for some reason, like the answer is there's no way, then there is like a very stubborn block within you because you're not able to see people as being capable of change. So I would ask yourself why, and do some soul searching on that one. But basically all you're going to do is figure out how your brain can believe that this person can shift into, the one that cooks you dinner twice a week, or the one that texts you cute things before you go to sleep every night, or calls you before you go to bed, and you guys have cute little phone calls every night, whatever it is that you want. And you know what, going back to the like, how can Sally become a good cook thing, if you have no idea, it's okay. Ask yourself, is it humanly possible for her to become a good cook? Yes, it is. All you have to do is believe that, and then be like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's possible. I've said that so sassily about before I understood manifestation, like when I had strained relationships with people, and I would be venting about it to friends, and I'd be like, oh, like I'm never going to talk to them again. They're like, yeah, but like what if, they were able to respect your boundaries or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like when pigs fly, I guess. Like it's humanly possible that they could become that person. And guess what? Even though I said it with like disdain and maybe not the most positive attitude, I did believe that there was a human chance of change. There was a possibility of it, and it happened. It did. These people transformed into people that were healthier for my life. My dog is telling me that it's time to wrap it up. So final advice is that you need to, compare these lists and see the areas that you need to reimagine your person. But it is fully possible for them to change if you can imagine it. And maybe you take it one step at a time. And know that it is possible if you change within yourself, and that it can take some time to show up. So don't fixate if you're like, oh, well, like I want them to communicate better, or I want them to stop doing this, or I want them to stop coming home late from work, and you're working on it, and then like the next night you think that you made progress, and then like that night they still come home late from work, and you're like, oh, they're just never gonna stop. That's your belief. So catch your beliefs, allow grace for the transformation to happen. If you're working on your self-concept, then you won't be so affected by other people's actions, because, say that like, for example, them coming home late from work upsets you because you really want to eat dinner at 7 and they're coming home closer to 8 and you don't want to wait that long to eat. You start eating at 7. And then if it would upset them that you're not eating dinner with them, you can still sit down with them at the table and enjoy, a conversation while they're having dinner. You don't have to, whatever it is that is making you feel that your needs aren't important, prioritize yourself. There's compromise everywhere, and transformation is totally possible. So this is my little video on how to start to see people in new ways. Again, it's really difficult when you're observing the old ways every day. But that's where giving yourself space and giving them grace to change and just focusing on yourself more and can be really helpful. It could even be helpful to like go out of town for a weekend and just have some alone time, or like go hang out with your girlfriends or, you know, your guy friends or whoever. Go visit your family for a little bit. Like, to break your routine can help to stop observing the same routine. That is the key. So to physically make a change where you stop observing the routine, or maybe they've been wanting to go on a camping trip but you haven't wanted them to go away for so long. Be like, bye, go have a long weekend. You know, stop observing the same thing if you can. However you can shake things up. Maybe you're not even around for them to come home late from work because you're finally taking the yoga class that you wanted, or you're learning gymnastics or how to rock climb. I don't know. Something. You got a basketball game. I don't know. You know, you're going to the hockey game or the baseball game now by yourself or with your girlfriends, or, you know, whatever it is. Change up your routine. Give yourself space to give them the space to start reflecting differently, because you're doing the inner work. And that's it for this video. If you would like me to explain anything in a different way, something was confusing, or you just didn't quite grasp it, or you would like me to expand upon something, please let me know. I absolutely would love to know what helps you. That is my goal, is to share my experiences, my observations with you, so that I can make a difference in other people's lives as I am making a difference in my own life and the people around me. It's an exciting thing to learn about being empowered in your healing to change your reality for the better. So thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know how you're doing in the comments, even if you don't have a request or anything you'd like me to talk about. I just love hearing what you guys are going through in life and how things are going. I'm sending so much love to you. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.